And we are back. Just want to shout out to the Hills Podcast Studio in Bella Vista. Thanks for letting us hire this studio for free, mind you. We've got a recurring booking here every Wednesday. So if you want to record your podcast, feel free, send us an inbox or just hit them up. You'll be able to record your own podcast for free. So back to the Facebook questions. We've had a pretty good episode so far. It's gone for 38 minutes. So we're tracking well, Mikey. Let's answer some questions from the community.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So the first question is from John Smith. Love the name. Rapana, question mark. We've already spoken about Rapana.
But we're going to treat these questions like you haven't listened to the rest of the podcast. So
Yep.
Rapana, I'm bringing him in this week. I like him as a fifth option. Look, is he going to be the Rapana of the past? No, probably not. But price is right. They're versing the Broncos, Titans, Bulldogs. I think is a great purchase for the price point, especially if you're selling someone like the Hammer or the Coates to him. Yeah, like it.
Moving on to George Kihagias. Munster, a sell or a hold, have a strong 17 with Rudolph and Hammer as 18th and 19th with Munster out. I know you've spoken about this. You're holding Munster, but I feel like it really depends on the makeup of your side. If you really need to strengthen up that 17 and you really need to make the top 8 of your cash comps or something like that, I wouldn't be against selling, but I feel like if you can hold, he will be a nice pod leading into the later rounds.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm holding Munster, but in his case, he said he's got Rudolph 17th, Hammer as the 18th and 19th. In that case, it looks like he's probably going to need to upgrade one of those to be able to keep Munster. You've got to still have a strong 17. If you're going to hold someone like him and have that money on the sideline, you've got to be able to field a strong 17. Or say you're bringing Gerald and Rapana in as your 17th, and with the 3-round average, you've got, yep, I like that. But yeah, you've got to have a backup plan if you're holding, and if you're selling, are you going to be cool not having him for the end of the year? So ask those questions, hence why I'm holding.
Okay, Spencer Hicks, if Munster is out longer than expected, who is the next best half 5'8", apart from Cleary and SJ? So
5'8".
Half or 5'8", who's the next best option?
Well, it'd be a fight between Mitchell Moses, Dylan Brown, and Cody Walker. I think are your next 3 best picks in the halves.
I feel like going off this season, it has to be deal bags.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other two you couldn't actually. Even DCE,
yep.
Like a really good run coming home, and they really need to make the finals. DCE is a good pod. It just depends where you got to go.
And yeah, Moses is 430k too, so you might opt him over Dylan Brown, and the fact that if Parramatta can start scoring some more points, which they haven't recently,
yep,
he's going to be kicking some goals.
All right, Rob Anderson, which front row forward to partner Haas for the run home? I have Marty currently, who will eventually be my reserve, but chances are he might miss the round. So perfect time to splash the cash on bringing my 3rd front row keeper.
Oh, interesting, Rob. I'm doing the same thing this week and, getting a 3rd front row. I think the best options would be, Papali, TKO, Daniel Saifidi, and David Clemmer. I think they're the 4 options. I think you'd want to have at least one of those 4. And even maybe an outside one is Junior Paulo.
Yeah.
I think they're your 5 best. You have a look. Look, in all honesty, that's the way I make it up. Get all the selections, have a look at the draw, have a look at which teams are leaking the most to front rowers, and then base it off that. That's how I come up with the Kenny Bromwich move.
Yep.
So kind of look at that and trust your own gut. Like, I'll give you advice there, but instead of saying, yep, buy Clemmer. Now, have a look and you trust that one, because then you can own that move.
Cody Mergic Bavista, crazy for going Teddy and Katoa to Nofo and Papali. Team attached if that helps. So for those watching the video, I'll attach his team and we'll answer our question. So it looks like so he's already gone Teddy to Nofo. I don't like it. I don't like Nofo's draw coming up. I feel like Nofo's really, he's hit his peaks, and I don't think he can get better than he has been
Nah, if you're selling Teddy, you would have sold him at his high.
Yeah.
He's going to come good, and it's going to be very dangerous, especially in head-to-head or whatever you're playing. It's going to be dangerous not owning Teddy. You need to have him as insurance, unfortunately. Yes, it could be a super move not having him, but I think it's more deadly than what it's worth because when all the cavalry come back and Roosters start putting on points again, he's going 80 plus.
And also, the other week when Jake was here in the studio and he didn't have Teddy, I'd ask him, hey, Jake, do you have Teddy? He'd reply,
no. And good.
you don't want that soundboard used against you. Adrianosaurus Rex, can you explain why some lunatics are chasing last week's point big time and bringing fire and Brimson at this stage of the year?
So I think he's having a dig at our boy Maxi there. Look, he makes a fair point, and we did previously discuss Brimson, but I think we can kind of answer two in one go because let's scroll down to Maxi's question here. Sorry, Sabs, I think it'd be
Lads,
easy.
trading Brimson in for Munster for 3 weeks and then going back to Munster means I could go best to Noffo. Opinions.
Look, I
like how there's a plan at least.
Yeah, there's a plan, but they won't go according to plan. Like the fact of what Brimson scored in that second half is very scary. And as I said, Titan scored a lot of points. If they don't score a lot of points and he doesn't make the cash you think he's going to make, you're screwed. Yeah, he's got a nice high score there, so he should at least, get you close to that mark. But at the same time, if you're going to have to play him in your 17 every week and he has some scores 20 or 30, was that move worth it? Look, don't get me wrong. I think he's definitely going to be priced around 500k, but that's 2 trades you're burning to sell Munster and then to get him back in. And you want Munster for sure to finish.
Yep. This is quite a strange question, but Josh Strange. That was a bad one. Josh Strange must have front row forwards. Takiaho, Clemmer, Safidi, Papali. I mean,
obviously not going to run 4 front rowers, but all of those.
I honestly don't think any front rows are must-haves. Even Payne Haas at this point of the year. I mean, if you have any of them, you're doing well with your front row.
You definitely want Chuck and Haas that list, and you definitely want to have and Tapau. You definitely want to have 3 of those blokes.
Patrick Kong, is McInnes still a buy, and would you be selling Cam Smith if you've held him till now? Is there a chance of regression to get him 100% right by playoffs? My opinion is McInnes is not a buy this week. He's shifted back to lock. I bought McInnes in for Grant last week because I saw McInnes was named at hooker. I was expecting McInnes to get an extended run at hooker, but now he's been shifted back to the lock. I think he can still score well there, but his best position is hooker.
It definitely is. He's still scored well there. He's still going to spend a bit of time there. But the main thing is if you want McInnes in your final team and that's what you want to do, this would be the week to buy him because while he's got that 97 in his rolling average, you're not going to get him much cheaper.
For sure. And would you hold Smith? I think we're both holding Smith, so we're saying yes to that. Yep. Guy James, Appy or Tohu this week, boys? So Tohu is actually owned by, I think it was 12% in the top 100. So he is a massive pod in the top 100.
He's been a massive pod the whole season. I've been that close to getting onto him. He's an option, but I think now that I've gone to Vunga, I won't get harassed. But yeah, look, I like Tohu and I like Appy. It depends what kind of move. If you want the pod move, I prefer Tohu. But at the same time, look how good Penrith's going. You're going to see at least 1 or 2 tries from Appy. Nearly, he's going to keep this up. So, yeah, it's a tough choice. It depends if you can manage without a second hooker.
I feel like I'd go Tohu because 1, he is the pod. 2, he consistently scores more scores above 50. So we know Appy's floor is about 50 and he's going to score that without attacking stats. Tohu, he's going to score 60 to 70 without the attacking stats. So, but the attacking stats come very often for Appy. So, I mean, whatever your gut tells you. David Cochrane, looking for a tip for next year, but how do I part ways with a player I love to, but he's hurting my Supercoach team? Like I have Moses Sully and he's my favourite player, but some weeks he just kills my team, but I also don't have the heart to drop him. How do I fix this dilemma?
So just quickly, I don't think Brennan's a man to answer this question. Can we have the laughing thing, please? Thank you.
Yeah, good one.
Yep, that's pointed to Savs. Mainly because All right, can we stop the laughing, please?
Yeah, that really goes for a while, doesn't it?
All right, yep. So the thing is, the best piece of advice I can give you is it is hard to have your separation. Personally, I play very, very seriously the fact that, then again, Mansour and Cleary are two of my favourite players. Kickout probably is my favourite player, and
You may have sold Mansour if you weren't so close to him, but I feel like because you're so close to him, like he's repaid faith for you.
Yeah, well, look, I only started with him because I thought he'd be a good buy. But just going back to that point is, Brennan, his favourite player is Tom Trbojevic, says he's no one. I give him shit for it on the podcast all the time because sometimes he brings him in straight away and then he gets re-injured and stuff happens. So I think you've really got to separate yourself. I guess it's good when your favourite player is very Supercoach relevant. In your case of Sully, I think the honest option is to, just bite the bullet, do not have him, and just do it the hard way. It's like kind of trying to quit smoking cold turkeys is a way to put it. Like, it's going to be tough, but
why are you asking the question this week? I feel like he scored a try last week against the Warriors.
Yeah, but then I'm sure if we went and dug back through his average, you'd understand why he's asking that question.
Okay, Matt Drummond, Appy or Paulo, Tohu or Gerbo?
So is it like one of each?
Appy or Paulo?
Oh.
Probably go Appy.
Yeah.
Tohu or Gerbo? Oh, geez.
They're both flip of the coins, but I'm probably Paulo Tohu.
Paulo Tohu. Okay.